Friends, it's Terri Gaines, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. In this video, I'm going to spotlight the Peaceful Garden Suite collection, which is in Stampin' Up's September through December 2025 mini catalog. Plus, I'm going to do a video tutorial on a fun fold card using this product. This product is all in a suite. You can order with one code number as long as all of those items are currently available. If there is something out of stock, that one code number will not work, but you can order all the items individually that are available. This product coordinates beautifully together. I'm going to share the product before I do the tutorial. So let's start with the ribbon. The ribbon is absolutely beautiful. It's 1/2 inch thick. It's Misty Moonlight with a silver edged ribbon, and it's a satin ribbon, and it's got that beautiful metallic threads running through it. Perfect for all of our paper crafting projects. Another embellishment in the suite are these hues of blue flowers. You get 160, 4 different colors, 2 different sizes. They're adhesive back. They've got a little bit of a thickness to them, and they're really pretty. There's an embossing folder in this suite collection. It is so pretty. It is a 3D folder. It's got this framed outline that coordinates with the dies, which I'll show you in a moment. And hopefully all that detail on that folder shows up in the video. I'm going to show you a couple samples using that folder. Another product in the suite is the 12 by 12 Peaceful Garden Glimmer paper. You get 3 different colors, 2 each of the 12 by 12 sheets. We have a blue, a soft green, and a dark gray. There's a bundle in the suite. The bundle is a stamp set and dies bundled for 10% savings, or you can purchase them separately. The stamp set has 9 sentiment images, and the dies have 8 dies. Do want to let you know these 3 are from 1 die and these 2 are from 1 die. I'm going to be showing you a lot of this different product, and this is what I was mentioning. These layer beautifully inside the folder, so I'm going to show you that in a moment. And then we have the designer series paper. The designer series paper is 12 by 12. You get 2 each of the 6 double-sided designs. Now this is very versatile for many different occasions, and as I mentioned, I'm going to show you a video tutorial, and then I have some additional samples to share after I share the project with you. So for the video or for the tutorial, I did cut my cardstock and my designer series paper ahead of time. I will go through all of that to give you all the details on that, but I have not scored the cardstock yet. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scoring tool, and we're going to start with the card base. The card base is 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I cut 1/4 of an inch off of this edge. So I'm going to score it at 1 1/4 and also at 4. I am going to just flip this over in this direction and score it at 4 again. So the reason I'm doing that is because of the way I'm going to fold this card. I'm going to just put my Simply Scoring back on the shelf. So I'm going to fold this first one to be, I'm going to flip it over like this. So the road bump is when you do a valley fold. So I'm going to have the road bump up here and fold this card like so, and line up the edges, bring in my bone folder and crease that edge. Now I have the road bump here, and I'm going to fold that in. So I'm kind of doing a Z fold card, and so it folds like this. Now the reason we score the cardstock is so we don't get cracking when we fold our cardstock. So that's just something extra I wanted to share with you. And then in the same color cardstock for this card, we need a 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. I'm using the basic white, so I have that cut already. Now I'm listing designer series paper. I do want to let you know that that can be designer series paper, it can be textured paper, it can be stamped cardstock, it can be stamped or textured cardstock. You choose, but I'm just listing designer series paper. and it's for the card. I have one at 2.5 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for the front. Then I have one at 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to be for the inside. So I'm going to attach the inside one first. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal and just put my adhesive on the back. And then I'm going to, it's going to open like this, so I want to make sure I have my paper oriented the right direction. I'm going to look at these 3 edges, the top, bottom, and right side, to get my equal spacing. And then I'm going to let that fall into place on that side. And then I'm going to attach this one. Look for equal spacing on those 3 edges. So this paper works beautiful for this fun fold card I'm going to share with you here. And look at equal spacing on all 3 sides and let that 4th edge fall into place. So that's what we want to do for that. Then we have designer series paper for the cross. Again, this can be designer series paper, it can be glimmer paper, it can be textured paper, textured cardstock. I'm going to show you a variety of different samples and different ways different papers I've used. So one of them is 1 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's going to be attached to this space this panel right here. And there's just a very small border around that. So with the designer series paper, you need to choose which side you're going to use. And let's see, I don't know if I got a good angle to see this. And we're just gonna say that for video purposes, that's going to work right like that. Then we have another one that is 3 by 5/8 by 1 1/8, and that one is going to get adhered to the cardstock piece that's cut. Now I'm going to look at opposite corners, then I can see all 4 sides and look for equal spacing and then attach that. So this is going to be a cross fun fold card. Now I do want to let you know this spring I did a cross fun fold card video tutorial, and I'll show you that a little bit more late in a bit. I have some more samples. I have this video tutorial from this spring. The cross is offset. What I did, I cut the card base different, I scored it different, and this cross is going to be centered on the card front. So it's going to be equal spacing here and here. I will link you to this video tutorial. I actually kind of liked this offset. It's only offset while it's closed and it's displayed, you know, sitting up, but it's easier to assemble it, I think, if it's off to the side. Easier to get the alignment. So as I mentioned, this is going to be centered. So it's going to be about 1/4 inch on this side, 1/4 inch on that side. And then you decide how tall or how high you want this to be. So what I'm going to do is just use my fingers, place them down here. Then I'm going to put my adhesive just above my fingers and then place this to cover up the adhesive. So by attaching that, then this card opens up and you see what you're seeing in the camera is how it really is going to be displayed. So the rest of the card is how you want to embellish this card. So I've done a little bit of work ahead of time. I have stamped one of the small banners from the Stylish Shape Banners with a stamp set that is called Unbounded Love. The stamp says "You are loved." I stamped that with Misty Moonlight ink ahead of time. I've die cut one of the doves ahead of time from the stamp set. I've actually, or the die set, I've dyed this with basic white, that one with Misty Moonlight. That's going to be for the card. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach this little die to that dove. So that gets a little tricky. I don't even know if you can see it in the video. It's just a small piece. I use the Misty Moonlight. And so I'm going to bring in my silicone craft mat. I'm going to want this to be attached as if it's carrying this little greenery. So it doesn't have much surface to attach. So I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, the multi-purpose glue. I'm going to put it on my silicone craft mat. Let's see, I haven't used it for a little while. Let's see if, there we go, got it going. I just need a little bit, and I'm just going to put it on a couple leaves. So I'm going to turn it over. Then I'm going to open this up. I used to dedicate a sponge dauber to my liquid glue. Now I just use this as if it was a sponge dauber, and I'm going to attach, just put some glue on there. Now I have a love-hate relationship with this glue. I typically put way too much on it. So if you feel you have too much, just give it a moment to dry. Just let it dry a little bit. This is multi-purpose because when it's still wet, it hasn't dried completely, it's going to give you a permanent bond. But if you let it dry completely, then it's like a Post-it note. It's tacky like a Post-it note. I'm just going to give it a moment, not to dry completely. Now I'm going to take my the bullet tip of my light Misty Moonlight blend and just put a dot for an eye on that. Now I think I've given this enough time to dry. Whoops, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to be all thumbs with this, I know. I'm going to attach this to the bird or to the dove. So I just attached it right there. So it kind of looks like it's carrying it. I think it's totally fine. This dove gets all this, you can bend this up a little bit, give it some texture here, kind of make it a little bit 3D. So I'm going to use that. Now I'm going to have this. So let's put this together. I'm going to use dimensionals to attach this piece. So I'm going to take my standard dimensionals. I think I probably only need 3. These are strong. They're given some dimension on your project when you use them. Take the backings off. This is going to go equal spacing on the top and bottom, and about that same spacing from the tip of the banner, just around here. I'm not worrying about this side. I did stamp the sentiment off to the right. Then I'm going to take a couple mini glue dots, and mini glue dots are just a little mini glue dot, and I'm going to turn that over, and I got one right on the edge here. I'm going to pick that up. They're really strong. I'm just putting them on the body part of the dove, not the wings. I'm going to put 2 side by side. And then I can visually remember where I have those because I want that attached to the banner. And that's going to be my outside decoration. And then I think I told you that I die cut this already. So that's the 2 dies. And this is going to go right here. This is where you would sign your card because it's not as visible when the card is on display. That way, when the card's on display, you see this panel, open up all the way, and that's your inside message and where you sign the card. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I mentioned, I did create this card back this spring, but this time I centered the cross. This one is offset, but I still like this one. And the beauty is you can create them either way. I'll reference this video tutorial, which also has a project sheet. And this one will just have the measurements. So here's another one I created. I used the glimmer paper. I added Wink of Stella to this dove. And then you've got this beautiful designer series paper. So these, in my opinion, don't have to be Christmas related. Now this one it's kind of a Christmas sentiment. This sentiment is from the Jolly Holly stamp set. And if you can see what I did here, I texturized these pieces. So I've put this label die on the outside right where the outline of that is. And then you've got this designer series paper. Love that one. And this one I did a little bit different. This is that glimmer paper. This is the same way. I did use Stella here, but if you can see what I did here, when I did the embossing folder, if you center your embossing folder, it's going to be centered like that. I had my cardstock sticking out of the embossing folder a little bit to have some spacing here, so it shifted to the right. And on this side, I had it offset, so it shifted to the left. So the label is hidden behind the cross. That way you just have that texture going down. Very elegant card. This one, you would sign the card right here. And that's just another way of using that. I may have forgot to talk about this card I made. This is just super simple. The embossing folder, the two labels, a sentiment from the stamp set, both doves, Stella, and just a little bit of the, with the bullet tip of the blend to get the eyes on the dove. Now here's a few other samples that I had created last spring. Some of this paper is no longer available. This paper is. I don't know about the dies, but I did use the, well, I have a project sheet, a video, I'll link the video tutorial in the text portion of this video to get to this project. I'll have the measurements in the text portion, plus I'll link you to a video that has these photos, the measurements as well, and then a link to the blog post to get that PDF. Lots of information. Just go to my blog, Create with Terri Gaines, and I will have all that information there. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and I know you're going to love this Peaceful Garden Suite collection as much as I do. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Take care and happy creating.